thing on? Good morning, kids. Good morning, afternoon, evening. 1 minute early, Bonnie. Is that me? I'm 1 minute early? That's rare for me. Right on time. Hey, Barry. Bonnie says, mine have come later. I am currently with my family. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here, but if you need to spend time with your family, I totally get that. Bonnie, my wife, Bonnie, is baking cookies. Send them over, Barry. The cookies. Jeffrey is here. Radios is here. Sorry, I'm back to long hours again. See if I can get my footage sent. Yes, well, I mean, I know it's holidays, so you got to, I know it's tough when you're in retail, Radios. At least made it for you did, Barry. He made it for a few seconds. Hello, film freaks. Hey, Mike. So many cameras to fix, so little time. Get the snappy fixin'. How about Kodak finally doing the 8mm camera at 5? Yeah, don't, Jeffrey. Whoo. Really, come on, people. Yeah, that's another whole discussion. What's going on? Hey, Christian. Christian is here. Hello, my friend. Mola is here. Mola Gamer. Hi there. Remjet is here. Chad Long is here. Hello, younger brother. That's my magician brother, Chad Long, everyone. Say hello. Are you on the road now, Chad? He's heading down South Florida and Miami area. So this is going to be fun. You guys remember this? Ooh, that almost got ugly. Remember this? Here's the box. And look, you guys remember this, right? A couple streams ago, we talked about this a little bit. I thought it would fit in nicely with our plastic camera discussion. You know, my novelty keychain plastic camera discussion. First, thank you, Mike. I received it safe and sound. Mike, or Flying O, sent me this this 0.7 inch finder lens for my Bell & Howell 70D L. Is it a DL or DR? It's a DL. So thank you, Mike. I did receive it safe and sound. I didn't get a chance to email you back, but I really appreciate it. It's the only one that was missing. I have a 17mm lens, but I had no finder lens for it. So gracias. Barry says, hello, Chad. Oh, I want one of those little cameras. Oh, yeah. I can't even remember where this came from. My wife got it for me. Just as a little fun novelty gift. Can you hear it? Oh, boy. Oh, Jay. Christian says, the new Kodak camera tells us one thing. Kodak will continue making film. That's about it. It's only 6mm prime. No optical viewfinder, no sprocket, no loops. Just a claw topping through. Yeah, I know. The thing that gets me most is the price. I can't remember what the initial offering was going to be. I thought it was somewhere around the $800 range, but to go from $800 to over $5,500, that's insane. Seriously, it's people, a lot of young people too are trying to break into Super 8, and it's getting so expensive. Honestly, I got a lot of emails and texts from people about the camera when the news came out, and I'd love to have one. I'd love to try it. I might email my Kodak guy, and just hey, let me know if you get one. So I'm curious how it works out. I don't know. I want to see some results. I want results, baby. You are very... Oh, yes. Thank you, Mike. Chad says, hey, Barry. Ripping. Yeah, I know what you mean. It does. It's got to rip at him a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's Kodak. Hopefully they did some intensive testing, but who knows. Jake is here. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. I haven't heard from you in a while. 400 to 800, then it went to 25. Yeah, Jeffrey, I knew it wasn't anywhere near, $5,500. Better buy some film. Yeah. I mean, for $5,500, I could get a fully equipped Aeroflex 35BL crystal sync 35 millimeter movie camera with a lens and probably a couple rolls of film. I got a Kodak guy, Chad, a Kodak guy. You need a Kodak guy. Oh, I forgot to put my daughter's bracelets on. They are known for raising prices. Yeah, I know. I imagine the buyers of the camera only be YouTubers whose content is flaunting expensive gear. Well, yeah, I mean, if it produces 16 millimeter results, I know that's going to elicit a response from Christian. He's my 16 millimeter guy. But if it elicits 16 millimeter results somehow, some way, somebody puts the, Leica lenses on it or something, it's still hard to justify 5500. Anyway, that's about all I can say about that camera. I'm waiting to see some videos. We'll see what happens. But anyway, you guys remember this toy? I thought it was going to be kind of fun. It didn't work last time I brought it out. And it's all plastic. Everything is plastic. It's very difficult to load, but I did order some bulbs. I had to get them from China because they were nowhere to be found. These little 12-volt bulbs. Come to find out, that's all that really was needed. But it's so so hokey. I can't get it to start. We're gonna mess with it, and at some point during this stream, I'm gonna get this thing to turn on, and I'm gonna show you guys. It worked right before the stream, but anyway, it's a Super 8 viewer. You could put a film in it. I think it was meant mainly for kids to view their little movies or something. You hold it. You don't have to hold it up to a light because it's got a light in it. Lovely toy. Well, it is such a pain. It tears sprocket holes. It's a mess. I could have sworn that I saw a video on a Bell & Howell 35mm motion picture camera, but I can't seem to find it. It looked like your Bell & Howell 16. Yes, that's the IMO, Mola. My buddy Travis has one. He brought it over here, and we shot some footage in the backyard. It's a great camera. And Bell & Howell makes great 35mm. They were used extensively back in the 40s. 40s and 50s, 60s for there was a lot of war footage, documentary footage. They are not crystal controlled. A lot of them were crank cameras. You could attach a motor to them. Some of them you could put 400-foot mags on, but for the most part, especially the ones we see now, most of them have the just 100-foot internal loads, and they're great cameras. They're beautiful. Like I say, we kind of pieced one together for Travis, and he brought it over, and it takes great footage. I'd like to have either a 2C, but anymore you could get the 35 BLs for just about $1,000 more than the 2C, the Arri 35s, and they're beautiful. Woo! And they're quiet, and they're rock steady, 24 frames per second. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about plastic cameras and how you can get into film without spending a fortune. You'll sacrifice quality a little bit. That's okay, because we're DIYers, right? First and foremost, what do you think of when you think of plastic camera? That's kind of what I think of first and foremost. If you grab a good deal, you'll get an awesome 16. Well, yeah, for sure. You get Atons. You can get all kinds of great. You can get probably an SR2 if you really keep your eye out, Christian. I looked on eBay and they cost greater than $2,000. What's that? The 35 BLs? Certain Exposures is here. How are you? So this is what I think of when I think of plastic camera. You guys remember these? Of course you do. You could still pick these up. They're incredibly expensive now. They're one-time use cameras or disposable cameras. These are the flash virgins. Settle down. The flash versions. Some were no flash, and with these, I think you just pop this little thing out. It charges the flash. You wind your film. These cameras, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's regular film cartridge inside here, 35mm, but the film is all pulled out of it and wound, just over itself. And as you advance the film, it forces it back into the cartridge. So when you're done, you can break these open and just pull a fully exposed cartridge of film out. But it is currently charging. Let's see if this particular one happens to fire. They are usually 27 exposures, kind of an odd exposure count. So the battery is dead in that one. This is my first experience with plastic cameras. The IMO, yes, Mola, the IMO is awesome. Every wedding reception in the 90s, including mine in the early 2000s. Yes, Chad. In fact, I found about a dozen of these with the little tuxedo covering on them in my garage from my wedding, and I processed them all. And interesting. You used to leave these on the table for the guests to just randomly take candids. Gordon is present. Thank you, Gordon. It's good to see you, my friend. Mike says, I met a man in Denver who worked in TV and film processing. He's got 2 Pro 60mm processing machines, 2 Frezzolinis, and other stuff he's holding for me. I'm hoping to fix the Pro developing system, and if you do, I'm moving up there and I'm going to move into your house with you. 7-foot long automated thing. I had an opportunity to buy one of those from, what's the big, Lockheed Martin. You guys know that? When they went out, they had a big auction at their, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I went 25 years ago. I had no money on me. I went with the girl I was dating at the time. I went with her dad. They had a huge freezer full of 16mm film, full, and it went really cheap. But like I say, I wasn't really. I just went for fun. But they had an entire processing room for 16mm. It was beautiful. I'm sure I'd love to get the. I had one of those. I had a Frezzolini. FW16, I believe it's called, and they're very, very nice cameras. They're very similar to the CP16. The same, they have the same mechanisms, the Aerocon movements, and they're really quiet. But I sold it. They're nice. They take 400-foot mags. I almost won a bid for 5 400-foot reels of Vision 2 stock for $300 today, but somebody outbid me. That's a good deal. That's a real good deal for Vision 2. He's getting old though. Vision 2's getting old. Kodak just made half-frame plastic fantastic. I saw that, Jeffrey. Those are interesting. Those are. I want to see some first. Okay, so is that one charged? Oh, watch this. Here we go, kids. You ready? I'm gonna take a picture. Yeah. Flash. Woohoo! Anyway, so what you do is you just throw these in the little mailer, drop them off at Walmart or Eckerd Drugs or Pick and Save or Walgreens or CVS or one of many, or Boots, one of many various pharmacies or photo shops. Remember the 1-hour ones, the little huts? Just drop them off, they pull them out, and within an hour you had your double photos for $6. All plastic. Plastic lens, everything is plastic. Yeah, smile, Mike. Smile! Everybody say cheese. Actually, it was Vision stock. Oh, Vision, plain Vision stock, that's really old. Still good stock if it was stored nicely. So anyway, we venture into 120 film. Look at that. This is cheating a little bit. It's plastic, but it's like Bakelite. It's kind of like what the Lomo tanks are made out of. The little Hawkeye, the Brownie Hawkeye, the Flash version. Remember, you could attach, you remember, no, I wasn't born when these were made, but you attached a handle flash next to these on the side of this. Very simple camera, no focus. You just flip the top right here, the back pulls off, you load your film on top, goes around the back right there of your exposure opening, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, medium format, and then it spools. You just roll it up. I know it's really dark. Roll it up there on the bottom, right there. Put your camera back on, lock it in place, and then the classic red window, and you would just wind it until you find the number 1. Bloop. My shutter sticks. These cameras here, and they started out with real glass lenses, and I think most of them are going to have a glass lens. The last couple years of this model, which was in the 40s, 50s, mid-50s, I believe, they started using plastic lenses. I don't know if this one is plastic or glass, because I don't really know what year this is. Mine's a little beat up. And I've never used this one. I did write a couple notes, I think. Oh, yeah. just the price. I've checked. These are, I mean, you can get them for $5 at a thrift store. eBay, 10 to 20 bucks. They're really easy to find. They got a nice little waist level finder right here. Just kind of look down. The lens is pretty beat up in mine. So I don't know. Might be kind of fun to pick another one up. They're only 10 or $20. Give this one a Goodwill, and let's see if we can get any results out of it. That's 120. There's really easy ways to get into 120. If you've never shot medium format, you really should try. EXR is old, Mike. That's 90s film. I have a bunch of EXR still, but it's so hit and miss. It really depends on how well it was stored. Yes, you know, certain exposures is absolutely right. Well-expired film seems to sell at a premium these days. It makes me wonder if the buying and holding is... I thought about that a couple days ago. It's almost like buying stock right now. I have probably 100,000 feet of cine film everywhere in my... I shouldn't say this, but in my freezers and in my house, and it's almost an investment these days. It's sad. It's kind of sad because you used to be able to pick up expired film for a quarter of what new stock costs, but now for some reason people are demanding crazy prices for it. But they're demanding it because people are paying it. I'm not one of those people. I have enough of it now. The only expired stock I really buy anymore is found film. But it's amazing to me how much people are getting for their expired film. Even it's still film even. Looking at still film, I could see if it's discontinued and it's a popular stock like a Plus X, or you know, there's a lot of discontinued stocks that people still like to shoot. For some reason, people like to shoot old Kodachrome in 35 millimeter, and those are going to get a premium. I can't. I just can't. Christian says, oh, those 620 gems, yeah. Yep, the Freslini 16. It can be seen in Apocalypse Now. It looks a bit like CP16 with a Mitchell mag and a fancy body support. It says it is a great camera. Like I say, Christian, I had one. I got pictures of it somewhere. And you can put the regular CP16, the what are they? The polycarbonate mags on them as well. In fact, I think I sold mine with one of those mags with it. 2 apertures. Yeah, this, I think it only has, I don't think this has any. Or does it? I'm not overly keen on this camera, to be honest with you. So I'm not real sure. I don't know. Is that what you're talking about, Christian? This one with 2 apertures? Barry only buys fresh film. I don't blame you, Barry. The EXR. My favorite film stock is getting old by now. I shot some 50D in 2016, probably late 90s. It looked amazing. Just some magenta shift, which could be corrected in post. Yes. EXR was super popular with TV productions in the 90s. Really popular, and it was beautiful. A lot of movies were shot on EXR. Someone should make a film price app like the Gas. Yeah, like Gas Buddy, Film Buddy. Expired film is okay for tests. Yes, that's about all you want to use it for these days, or experimenting, doing fun, hobby stuff like I do. I believe Kodak has an app, but only for their stocks. Is that for Mola for the prices of it? That'd be fun. I suppose a lot of new film photographers are interested in the variability and unpredictability of film compared to digital, so sometimes expired stock can make more interesting results. That's for sure. There's no doubt that you never know what you'll get with expired film stock, especially when you do what I do and you process it yourself. I mean, sometimes I use chemicals that have been used a couple times. Sometimes I use fresh. Sometimes my temps are a little off here and there. So I really get unexpected results. I bought a ton of 35mm film 20 years ago for literally pennies per roll. Frozen. It all works very well so far. Fingers crossed. That's awesome, Mike. Filmboy24, you won't catch me buying expired film at a premium. It has to be well stored. And it's even hard sometimes to know if it was well stored. You just have to take somebody's word for it. I mean, let's be honest, we're all buying from total strangers on the internet. They can say whatever they want. What's your recourse? Send it back, you know? Just loaded my Brownie 620 with 120 film. Doesn't really load easy. Yeah, I have a Brownie, or I had one sitting around here somewhere. All these old box cameras, really primitive. I mean, there's not much to them. You get one shutter speed. I don't know what the shutter speed is on this. Probably 1/60th, somewhere in that range. Price calculator. I believe you can put the desired length and then it gives you the price. Well, that's really cool. Nail clippers, each end of a 120. Yeah. So it fits in there, tiny bit bigger. So what's next in the lineup? Well, let's stick. If you guys want to shoot 120 film really inexpensively, this might be an option for you. My wife bought this for me, I think, for Christmas about 5 years ago. And it's largely regarded as a toy. This is what I shot in it. I've only shot one roll of film with it. But it's largely regarded as a toy. My lighting right here is terrible, I know, when you're holding a black plastic object. But what an amazing little camera. It gives you that funky, funky look. Whew. The Holga 120 GCFN. Now this is the GCFN. This was the primo Holga 120 camera. They had just the N, I believe it was, the 120N. This one actually has a glass lens. That's what the G stands for. And the GCF is the flash. See the flash up here? Look when you turn this dial. It's hard to see, but colors. Colored flash. For all kinds of, Lomo is known, Lomography, they're known for funky effects. So, and they're the ones that put this out, and they added this funky colored flash thing up here, and I believe the N just stands for normal. But a fun little camera, and I have a couple of pictures I'm going to show you guys. If you hadn't seen the video, I did a video on this camera quite some time ago, at least 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, 2 years probably. The back just pops open, and you can change this out. This is this is kind of their rendition of the film back, but right here you can see it pretty good there. That just pulls out, and they give you another one, so you can do, the classic 12, 2.5 by 2.5, or 6 centimeter by 6 centimeter photos, or you can do 16 of 4.5 by 6 centimeters, and they're more vertical. This is your frame size here, not the back, but see the difference? Am I holding these both the right way? Yeah. See the difference? I know it's very hard, this light. Oh, I got that one facing the wrong way, sorry. See the differences? Anyway, take my word for it. This is more vertical, and this is more square. Now, I can't remember, I think I used the square, but you simply snap it back in. It just fits right over. It's all plastic. Just snaps in, you load your film, draw it across, close the back. You just lock it by sliding these little clips. Slide them up, slide them down to pull it out. And then you change your little window here. Because of the markings on the film backing, the paper, you switch it up if you're doing 16 exposures. I'm sorry, 16 exposures is what it's set for now. Is that right? No. No, it's whatever the arrow is pointed at. It's been a long time since I've used this. But this just slides up and down, and then you read the numbers on the paper backing differently. But I want to show you guys a couple of photos. Let's see what's happening real quick. Provia, great film. I missed a bunch, sorry. Plastic fan, Holga, Diana. It's not the Diana, but the Diana, they don't sell this on their website anymore. They do sell them, it's still on Amazon, so it's still available on Amazon. And you can pick these up for around 50 bucks, people. 50 bucks, people. But I couldn't find it on the Lomography site anymore, but they do sell the Diana, the 120. It's about 100 bucks, I believe. Oh, what a dream. I shot some Provia 100F I bought new several years ago. It was expired, but the fridge was kept perfect. Yeah, can you imagine if we all bought all the film we could possibly buy when we were younger, when it was, and put it in the freezer? Is Manny here? Oh, there he is. Hey, Manny is here. Good to see you, buddy. Seeing some shocking prices for film. It looks almost right. I know, it's crazy. Remjet. Tio Man, did you ever get your Bauer back together? Yeah, good question. I've got a Holga for $2 in a box of cameras I bought. That's good. That's awesome, Jeffrey. Get it out and shoot it. I want to show you guys a couple photos I took with this. You get the classic, you know, the shadowy vignette on the corners that you always get with these Holga cameras or these lomography type plastic cameras. And now I can't buy it new. It's so expensive. Fujifilm stopped making film when I started out with film a year ago. I shot Fujicolor 200. My grandma gave me without knowing that it's discontinued. Yeah, so many stocks are gone now, Mola. Hey, Barry, yeah, I did. Good job, Manny. I'm thinking 3D printing will revitalize plastic cameras again. I think you might be right, because they're all just pinhole cameras, and that's an easy concept. And these are very modifiable as well. There's all kinds of modifications. People have made the Polaroid backs out of these, all kinds of crazy things they do with these plastic Holgas. Show and tell. Oh, Z, Tio Manny, I subbed to your channel. I'm really enjoying it. Are you near Davis? Monthan Pima, looked familiar. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Tio Manny, or Manny there, he has a really fun YouTube channel. You should check it out. Nice Holga. Thanks, Mike. And hey, everyone, Mike is here. Another Mike is here. Just bought Fuji Reala. Seller said it was frozen. I guess I'll find out. Yes, you will. You will know. I bought some Phoenix 200 ISO, but I'll shoot it at 100. I don't know what that is, Mike. Reala was my absolute favorite. It was beautiful. Okay, I want to show you guys a couple shots. These things here, it does have a kind of a focusable lens right here, focus, but it doesn't give you any numbers. It just gives you far away from mountains, a group of people, a couple of people, and one person. So you're very close to very far away. And I think it's 3 feet to infinity, something like that. Say a lot. About 50 bucks. You get these for about 50 bucks. Let me see if I can pull up a couple photos. Now this was supposed to be a little slideshow and only about 3 seconds in between. And there's 10 photos that I took with this a couple years ago. But it's for some reason it's only showing 4 photos, so that's fine. You'll get the gist. All right, let me see if I can. It's gonna go black for a second. Now wait. Boom. There's the photos. This is with that Holga. It's only going to cycle through 4 photos, it looks like, which is fine. You get the gist, but you see the vignetting. And there you have it. Ta-da! So seriously, if you're looking for entry level, if you don't have the money for the Pentax or the Mamiya 645s and whatnot, you talk about super entry level and pretty darn good quality. I have a couple others up there too in 120. Think about some of these boxy cameras or the plastic camera. This takes batteries too, by the way. It took me a while to figure this out. I remember when I first got it, but you have to take the back off and you pop this film back out of here. And then your battery, 2 AA's, just for the flash, 2 AA's go right in there. One here and one on the other side. So you don't want to forget them because they're not easy to get to. And if you forget them, you guys know what happens when you forget batteries in a camera. This back plate only goes back on one way. And that way is just like that. Plastic camera, number 3-ish. Let me scoop this chat window back over. Did I miss anything last week? No, we didn't have it last week, Mike, so you didn't miss anything. It was my daughter's birthday. The new color film from Harman. Oh, that's what it is, Mike. I'm dying to know what happened. Let me know. Send me a couple of shots of it. I want to see how well it came out. Brand new color film. Well, I want to see some. I want to see some. I don't know why I've never heard of it. You know what? I gotta write that down. Sorry, give me a second, guys. Harman. Phoenix 200 is brand new color film. All right. My local shop will stock it December 12th, so I couldn't shoot it yet. Well, that's exciting. Kent Mirror. I love Kent Mirror film. It's inexpensive, and I've shot a lot of Kent Mirror. I like Foma Pan, 100 and 200. 100 is probably my favorite of the Foma series. Nice. Your lights went out. Has anybody had any streaming troubles or ads? Should have nothing. I'm hardwired again. All the ads have been turned off. First Orwo and now Harman. It's a color film revolution. That's a good thing. Also, I love the Clark Griswold figure in the back. My awesome sister-in-law, the guy that you saw in here, Chad Long, his wife, my brother and I love quoting this movie. I had it on loop yesterday, and she got that for me. She got my brother and I each one. We love that movie. He's got the little pull in the back, like Woody, and he says little Christmas vacation things. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite Christmas movies. Batteries in the Holga. Yeah, Mike, that's just for the flash. Rich is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling better, bud. Mike, the great thing about pinhole cameras is you can make them yourself super easy with... Yeah, I know. Nikonos 3, no batteries. Those are neat cameras. That's the 3D ones, right, Barry? I had one of those years ago. Lots of love. Phoenix reviews on YouTube. Not great, but new. Oh, that stinks. Right before the pandemic, thrift shops were full of film cameras. Bought so many. Then about a year ago, nothing. All the film cams are crazy on eBay. Yeah, it's a fad. Bonnie is back with a new... what? You bought an R16 for $46? Somebody ban Bonnie from this live stream. I'm tired of her good deals. It's quite red. Is it red? No kidding. Yeah, I had high hopes for that Orwo stuff, but I've seen terrible reviews for that Orwo color too. I've seen a couple positives, but I've never tried it. I'd love to. Oh, the stream is great today. Awesome. From now on, it's hardwired. Yeah, can confirm. No ads here so far, thankfully. Goodness, thank you. Thank you, YouTube gods. Is your house on fire, Clark? Is your house on fire, Clark? You serious, Clark? Alright, I thrilled my grandkids by showing them how to make pinhole cams. That is a great thing to show them. I need to show my daughters how to do it. Great underwater. Oh, the underwater one. Yes, I had one of those as well. That's right. Yes. They are not the 3D ones, but those 3D ones had a weird, long, funky name too. I had both, but I never did shoot the Nikonos underwater, or Nikonos, or Nikonos. Phoenix 200 isn't that bad. Maybe not Kodak quality, but film isn't about perfection. For me, anyway. No, me either, Mola. Film is about just organic beauty. Like me. The R16 was untested since the battery was missing and it was missing the magazine port cover. That's okay. You could piece those together easily, Bonnie. That's a great deal. I do have my Beaulieu 5008S sitting over there now. It needs a battery. It does run, I can tell, because it has a charger. But and you can only run it for a short time. The battery just holds no power whatsoever, but it has to be plugged in with the charger. Does run, has a couple little issues, like it's missing the little glass cover where you can see what kind of film you're shooting. It has the little circle is missing, but it's in really good shape. So I have high hopes for that. All right, let's move on from this, the Holga Wonder, because I want to show you guys a couple of cameras before we finish. And by the way, that film I just showed you was T-Max 200. T-Max 200 black and white. So let's put this to the side. I'm going to revisit this one again too. Should we? Should we try one more? Nisi is here. By the way, does anyone have experience with Miopta Admira 16A electric? I do not. In fact, that's the first time I've ever heard that. I thought that cup was a real lens until you took a look. It's tricky. My sister bought that for me. It's still not working. You guys don't believe me, do you, that it actually worked? Let me show you how it's threaded. This is how it's threaded. And boy, does it tear film up. Look inside there. You even got the little loop. See the loop right there? No loop former, but there's a loop. I just can't get it to work again. It worked pretty well just before the stream. It's so hokey. It's you can tell it's just old school tech. Has just this little tab that pops up that makes the battery connection. My batteries might be getting near the end of their life as well. It is so hokey. Yeah, we'll try again in a few minutes. One of these streams, you guys are going to see that work. I don't know when or how, but I can guarantee you. Guys, remember this. If you want to get into Super 8 very inexpensively, I do not advise you use this one. Do I really need to take this out? I think we all know what the Bentley BX720 is. It's a $10 to $20 Super 8 camera that's all plastic, including the lens. And if you want to see the terrible results that it gives you, just search BX-720 on my YouTube channel, and you'll see I shot a roll of Ektachrome 100D at the beach with that. And that's probably the only roll I'll ever shoot with. It was part of my 20 cameras, one roll of film video as well, which was interesting. So those are always interesting. Yeah, I don't need to take this out. You guys know this is completely a plastic camera. This is the true definition of a toy. If you have a little one that's 3 to 4 years old and you want to get them into film, maybe. If someone gives you one of these, maybe as a novelty, maybe. If you process film yourself and you have an old roll of really cheap film, maybe, because this is only manual exposure. The lens is just atrocious in this thing. You know what? I will show you guys. So I need to get my Lomo Kino back in action again now after seeing this Hoga ×3. Look at that. Look at that, Mike. Can you see it peeking in? We're going to visit that in a second. All right. You know what? I said I wouldn't, but let me show you. We have time. This is the Bentley BX720, not to be mistaken for the Bentley vehicle. They couldn't be any different. That's the Bentley. There's nothing to it. It's all manual, which typically I would like, because I like having manual control over pretty much everything. Even the inside of the film compartment is completely bare. There's no markings, there's no nothing. It doesn't meter any film. You do that all on your own, right here, and it goes from f2.8 to f16. It's not a bad range. It probably could stop down a little bit more. I'd like to see f22, but it's not terrible, and 2.8 isn't super slow. So as far as the f-stops go, not bad. It's not reflex, so the closer you get, the more off you're going to be, which you probably could tell from my 20 cameras video. That's it. On, off, I think that's the filter. I can't even remember. On and off. Maybe that's to turn the camera on and off. I don't know. You'll have to revisit the video to figure this one out, but this camera is hokey. By all practical purposes, it should be kind of a neat little gem, because it's packaged very well. Comes with a nice little lens hood here, a manual, a cover. Everything is very, you know, it's very precise looking, or it's very juicy. But that's about it. As far as results go, don't expect much. Well, expect much, but I can assure you, you won't get much. Getting behind again. What's going on, people? Oof. That is a Lomo Kino in the corner. I bought, okay, whoa, I'm so far behind. Sorry, guys. Yes, I see the cup. Yeah, that's my sister. My sister Tina bought that for me. Keeps coffee nice and warm, and it splashes it when you close it. Does anyone have experience with this? We talked about that. I bought a 38 KP8. I bought 34 KP8 cartridges. I don't have them yet, but do you know if there's Super 8 film inside? I don't know what a KP8 cartridge is, Nisi. Send me a picture. Is it one of those ones that the film just kept looping in, the Super 8, and you had to have that specific projector? And if so, you got to kind of break them apart and pull the film out. Someone sold me a Bolex 155 on Etsy for $20. They had it as a shelf decoration, but everything works perfectly, even the meter. Mike, that's a great deal. Great deal. I spent about that for one, and it doesn't work. The 155. I'd like to have a working one. I got a 150 that works great. I so need to get my Lomo Kino back. Oh yeah, I know. I'm lucky since I will be meeting with someone that I know has an R16 in a few weeks, so I am lucky I can. Yes, I miss my R16 so much. I want another one. One viewing, then torn film. This thing does tear film. Put the Bentley down and move away. Step away from the Bentley. Wow, plastic lens. This really is a Lomo Super 8 camera. Bonnie says, so Mike, are you going to buy the Kodak Super 8 camera? MSRP is $5,500, Bonnie. The answer is no. I am not going to be buying. I wish I could. Honestly, I would like to have one just because I love shooting Super 8 film. And I want the best way to shoot it possible because I do everything myself. But I have 3 Canon 1014 XLS cameras and another army of lower end Canon Super 8 cameras, and they work just fine. I can't justify that kind of money. Johnny Gators is here, and he says Jeff's mixed up chemicals for today's experiment. Excuse me. Color processing 70s Ektachrome. I'm not holding my breath though, although maybe I should considering the chemicals I'm playing with. Do not, Johnny Gators, do not use full temp on 70s Ektachrome. Is it Ektachrome 160? I don't have the picture with me, but I've done it several times with hot chemicals, and you will melt the emulsion right off. You need it to be pre-hardened. 1983 expired. Look at the side of the box. If it's E160, if it expired in 84 or later, you'd be okay using hot chemicals. You could use cool. You could probably use your experiment with color chemicals, but keep them at room temp. You should be okay. Carefully protected Bentley. Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry. I am so far behind. You had a manual hand crank. That would be the icing on the cake, Mike. Does the Bentley take Super 8 rolls? Royce? A hand crank Super 8 camera would be certainly interesting, especially for a plastic bomber camera. It would. By the way, I forgot to ask this last time, what is your favorite part of the FNAF movie? You didn't forget to ask me, Bonnie, and I would guess probably the end when, well, I don't want to give it away, but when they're all kind of laying in the circle. That was fun. Always wanted to get one of those MovieCon 8. I have a MovieCon, do I have a MovieCon 16? Horizontal cameras. I saw they twist. Oh no, they're only 8. I have one, but it doesn't work, Mike. I wish it did. My local pharmacy. Wait, it just went away. The comments are rolling. Had 3 packs of gold 200 for 19 bucks. That's not a bad deal nowadays, sadly. KP8 from Miotopa. $29 online. No idea why they got it so much. I don't know what that is, Nisi. I don't know. I've never heard of it. It's the cartridges. The nose, yes, they have Super 8 in them, if that's the ones I'm thinking of. But you gotta break them apart and get the film out and re-spool them. Sounds great. Found film, or have you shot it? Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. You shot it. Well, good luck with that, Johnny. I'd love to hear. Maybe you let us know on the next stream how it works out. I'm going to put Foam Pan 100 in it and for the festival. You are in the Lomo Kino, Mike? I'm confused now. Oh, you mean for Super 8. 22-year-old people will buy the 50. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have to head out, Mike. Fun show. I'll watch the rest later tonight. Please don't discuss the BX-873 AU-8. Chad, love you, brother. Talk to you later, man. Have fun down there. There is a Bolex P. Whoa, missed it. Keeps skipping. P4 listed as an H8 on me. But I've corrected several people, Bonnie, on certain film things, but I gave up. It's almost comical what some people put now. One guy had a whole bunch of 8mm film reels for sale, just little plastic ones, and he listed them as all Super 8. You could tell the hole was little, and I corrected him, and I wrote a whole dissertation on what they were, and I get a thanks, and that was it. So I kind of gave up. I'm sure Quentin Tarantino will buy one of the Kodak Super 8s. He can test it. Were they building a fort since then? We're in the middle of the movie. No, it's at the end. You know what, Bonnie? I got to watch it again. I watched it with my daughter, but I need to watch it again. She loved the movie, probably more than me, but it was good. So far, Kodak is only taking pre-orders. Yeah, they're supposed to ship, is it the 12th? Oh, in the Bolex 155. Yeah. I want to know how that comes out, Mike. I think he'll stick to 35. Foam Pan R100 and 400-foot rolls of 16mm would be awesome. Yes, it would, Bonnie. That would be really awesome. I know there are a few 3D printable tanks, though I'm not sure the cost is. There are some tanks on Thingiverse. I've heard good and bad about them. I guess if you have a really good 3D printer, they could come out nice. There's even the 100-foot one. But you got to be careful with the chemicals and the filaments that you use, and sometimes they're not light tight, and sometimes they're a little quirky. So if you got a really good 3D printer, maybe. I always thought it would be cool to CNC one, but probably very costly. Manny says just got a few cameras and an Elmo 110 and a Niso Allmat 8. Testing those out today. Fun stuff. Good luck with all that stuff, Manny. I might get a 3D printer anyway, so that would be great. Well, that would be awesome. It can't hurt to try, right? I mean, I imagine it'll take a while, but... Bonnie says, I'm going to put it on VHS as soon as the DVD... That's backwards compatible, right? All right, last but not least, plastic camera beauty. Yes. Almost to the day, 3 years ago, I shot. My wife got this for me for Christmas. I don't remember what year, probably about 3 or 4 years ago. This is my Lazy Susan. It's the Lomo Kino Super 35 Movie Maker. You could pick these up for $40 to $60, depending on where you get them. Mine's a little bit dusty. I leave it on display above my head there. Right there where my light is, it's not doing a very good job. It takes 35mm film. You know, we all talk about 35mm movie film, and everybody likes 2perf because it's a nice wide format. A lot of them are 4perf, which was the standard 35mm film frame. This is 1perf. 1perf. So you get 4 frames of movie in 1 frame of 35mm film. The downside, it only takes up to 36 exposure rolls. technically. I mean, you could put a little bit more on it if you spool it yourself, but you have to remember your processing tanks, if you process it yourself, your processing tanks only hold about 5 feet of film, the Patterson tanks. Now, if you want to put something on a Lomo, on a UPV-1A, it'll hold 50 feet of film. The problem is you can't get 50 feet of film inside a little 35 millimeter canister, and that's what you have to do with these. They're really cool, fun, experimental cameras, but you can expect to get plastic camera results. It's non-reflex. You just flip that up, and there's your viewfinder. This goes right through the top there, like a lot of the old school non-reflex cameras did. I need to swig your coffee. My voice starts crackling after a while. Shutter speed about 1/100th of a second. Pretty slow, but you manage that by cranking, and you can get anywhere. They advertise anywhere between 4 and 30 seconds of movie out of one of these. And I'm going to show you a little movie I shot about 5 years ago. So I guess it's been 5 years since I've had this camera. With this little guy right here. I used Kodak 400, I believe, an expired roll of Kodak 400, and I'm going to show you the results that you get from something like this. I did everything myself. It does have a 25 millimeter fixed focus lens right there. It's all plastic. There is no ISO setting on this, so it's just you have to do the best you can, knowing what your ISO film is, and you meter it. You have 3 iris openings. You have 5.6, 8, and 11 right down here on the bottom. And I did a complete video on this almost 3 years ago, like I just said. So take a peek at that video if you want to see. And it has a little film counter here on the side as well. They're a little tricky to load, I remember, and I haven't used this in a long time. I've only used it a couple times actually. But they are a little bit tricky to load, and I explain exactly why and how you do that in my video. So if you're interested, do that. But this is your handle here. Now look at my hand, the way it's moving. People have put motors on these. You make a drill motor, or they fabricated their own motors. It does have a tripod mount right there on the bottom, so you can keep it relatively steady. But to use it and have really have fun with it, you crank them, and they're really difficult to keep steady. So your results end up looking like a funky 80s music video. What's going on here? I'm going to show you some footage from this in 1 second. Never change to see the attraction. The hand crank Loma Chemo, choppy as it can be. Yeah, they are choppy. Barry, can you imagine using that for 400 feet? They are at my. It's a love it or hate it kind of a little contraption. I wanted it just because I wanted to see what it would do. That's the only reason. There's the Kodak Hybrid Super 8 camera. They did, Rich. I know. And if you have 5500, you could give me. I'll get one. Adapter by yourself, Bonnie. That's what I was thinking. I also have a Movicon 8, which seems to work. But when you load the film, you can get it for repair. You know what, Butch? I have a Movicon 8, and if you find out where to get them repaired, relatively inexpensive, let me know, because mine doesn't work either. But I don't know who can repair those. I was once able to get 45 images on one normal roll of 35. Definitely not going to just continue to spool. Yeah, that's the problem. You can't get any more film in the cartridge. You're really limited. Personally, I always hope for a metal version of Lomo Kino. Yeah, one with a little more weight to it, but these are super lightweight. They're easy to carry around. Technoscope. It does. It's insane. I'm going to show you in a minute. And I'm going to show you quickly how I did it. I used Photoshop for everything to put this together. Well, for everything until I made it into a movie format. All the cropping and scanning. I scanned everything on my Epson V600. If you didn't roll the film, maybe they gave you a little bit of extra. 39 is most of her minutes. Store-bought roll. Yeah, if you load your 35 millimeter camera and just barely catch it, close it, and then just wind it just enough, you can sometimes squeeze 38 to 40 pictures out of it. You got to really be lucky. The Lomo Action Sampler, basically, yeah, GIF maker. Let me show you the quick little film. Now, it does have a little music to it, but for some reason it wasn't coming through. Let me show you really quick what I do. So I can scan, usually you get about 144 to 150 frames, individual movie frames. This was 148, and I can scan 24 at a time. There it is there. That's one scan on my Epson V600, and I did it at 2400 DPI. And with that, I break it down with Photoshop into that. And that is a simple crop tool, and I keep the crop exactly the same, or I think it's just a selection tool. So I select the first one, the frame size that I like, and then I keep that exact same crop size all the way through. You can transfer it from one frame to the next and just scoot it around. Okay, with that, I'm going to show you, like I say, there was a little music to it, but it's not, doesn't seem to want to play the music, and that's okay. So let's go back to a black screen, and I'm going to show you this goofy little clip. My daughters were, let's see, they would have been like 3 and 9 at the time. Well, that's not it. It is right here. Let's start it again. Stop and start. Whoops. Let me, but you can see, yeah, that wiggle is, that wiggle is definitely from handheld. And it has the vignetting, just like you would expect from this Lomo stuff. There's the beginning that you, the very beginning is just my wife walking in. And then, so you guys get the gist. That's what you get when you when you're hand cranking. I can't remember frames per second. That's 30. They're about 30 seconds long, and there's 148 frames. So I don't know. You guys do the math. Something like, what did they? I don't know what they typically 10 frames a second or something. I don't know. You guys do the math for me. Yes, Mike, give the stream a thumbs up before it's too late. Thumbs up, everybody. If you haven't, hit the like button. Lots of work for a short Lomo. It is a lot of work, and it's probably too much work. Yeah, that's great. It's a very interesting, unique look. I mean, it kind of hard to duplicate that. It really is. That's why I'm not, if you want to mount this and get a motor for it, and I really don't see the purpose. I mean, I suppose if you want, you can, of course, it's yours. But that's not the beauty of it. The beauty of this is it's so different from anything else. And if you mount it and you put a motor on it and it's perfectly still, then it just becomes a 2-perf 35mm camera with a really crappy lens. 5 frames per second. Thank you, Mola. I knew I was off. Bonnie, that's a good question. I was thinking about that today, and I don't know yet. Probably not. That is the day that we typically go to my wife's mom and dad's house, and probably not. And then the Sunday before, the following Sunday will be New Year's Eve. So yeah, maybe we'll do a New Year's Eve live stream. That might be fun. Is everybody around for New Year's Eve? You can even manually adjust the lens to macro and have a bit. Yes, there is so much to this. I will be honest, I haven't used this in quite a while. So there are a couple of things I know I'm forgetting to tell you. But I did make a video close-up. Yeah, right here. There's a little close-up button here on the bottom. Right there. Just like Jeffrey said, someone said. Mike said it, yeah. There is a little close-up button, but you have to hold it in, and it kind of pushes the lens a little closer. It's hard to see. That's for close-up, about a foot away. Like a dream sequence. Very cool vibe. Yeah, it's very dreamy. 1/175th of a second, if I remember. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know what the shutter is on these. Did I write it down? I don't think I did. No. Oh, it says in the manual 1/100th on the Lomo Kino. I don't know, but I like the way it looks. Look, yeah, like Pixel Vision. The color version of Pixel Vision. Agreed. Personally, I never wanted to motorize it. I love the manual hand crank aspect, just like the early film cameras. I think that's the allure. I mean, honestly, I think that's the beauty of it. It's just, that's why it's different. Try your best to hold it as still as you can, and it's difficult. I don't know. I guess that's the attraction for me, is that it's not the same as everything else you can get. New Year's would be fun. Champagne. Yeah, let's do New Year's Eve then. As long as I'm going to say for now we will. Christmas Eve, I don't think I'm going to do a stream because that's on Sunday. But New Year's Eve, I could probably be up for that. Ah, yes, 100. Thanks, Mike. Of course. New Year's would be fun. Champagne. 5 frames per second according to your numbers. Thank you, Mola. Remjet says, just remembered, there was a DIY Lomo-like tank by Chris Gavin that seemed fairly easy to build, just aluminum wire. I saw that in an old film can, and he put like a spigot on the side of the film can, a 35mm film can. It was really cool. And he used wire, and he did this real intricate, I don't know how he got the wire to stay down, but it looked really cool. Oh my God, yes, Dio. I would like to have one of those Pixel Vision cameras. And they modified them to do something I can't remember. There's modified and non-modified versions, but use cassette tape. And I have hundreds of cassette tape, blank cassette tapes in my garage. Became so hard to find recording. Low-res black and white video to audio cassettes. Yeah, it is a great idea. There is. Mola, look up DIY, like film processing tank. I think I even saved a photo of it. It's a great little idea, but they used a film can, like a 35mm film tin can that a 400-foot roll would come in. Great idea. I don't know how well it works, but it looked cool. Looks 100 times better than the Fragment 8 digital Faux 8 camera. Yeah, I remember that. Faux 8 camera about 2 years ago. A Knop Top review. He did a review on it. Where is Knop Top? Where the heck are you, buddy? Still fastened. We're missing Travis. No excuse, right? And we're missing Dave. Knop Top. No excuse. I'm hoping for the Octo 35 from Blaz. Similar movie making on 35mm cartridges. That'll be interesting, Mike. I want to hear about that. But with that, we are hour and 9 minutes in, so we are wrapping it up. I hope you guys had fun. I know I did. I always have fun chit-chatting. Try to get that back in there. Is that the way it goes? Ta-da! Guys, we give it one more shot before we go. Maybe if you shake it. You guys don't believe me now, but it worked. My wife just yelled from the chair. It did. All right. So it doesn't work. Maybe next time. These are a great part of my Sundays. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody. Seriously, thank you. I have fumbled with the idea of stopping these live streams, but I can't. I can't do it as long as... This is so much fun for me. As long as you guys keep enjoying them and engaging and showing up. I have such a good little 20 to 25 people crew. It's a lot of fun. So thank you everybody for popping in. I really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. And we will see you guys, barring any crazy emergencies or anything else, next Sunday for sure. For sure. Cheers. Go brew some coffee. I have to go to the store and get food for my daughter's lunches for the week. Peace. Thank you guys. Love you all.